Hi, my name is Mark Prier and I live in Hamilton, Ontario. My sculptural works can range from large scale down to small scale. So my large scale works are often quite abstract, interlocking posts of wood made out of things like red pine and hemlock. I think that art and music, having been such a big part of my life, they can also be a really big part of almost anybody's life. You don't have to be well trained, you don't have to be a professional. I think that everybody has some piece of artistry within them that is often just waiting to get out. And I see this a lot these days with small children, how they don't really feel any restraint to create things, and they're not worried about whether they're good or not. And it's hard for us as adults to get back to that place where we can make something and not be critical of ourselves for how we've made it. I think that's super important for everybody. And I'd really encourage all of you to go ahead and do that. What Cheer is an ongoing series of stonework, and I've had bird mnemonics engraved on them. Now, bird mnemonics are phrases that birders use to help them to identify the birds that they're hearing by ear. So the ones that are the most interesting are things like chickadee, which sounds like what we've used as the name for the bird, so chickadees. But one that I haven't done yet, for example, that the chickadee uses as a call is cheeseburger. So it might sound like it's going cheeseburger. And the name itself, What Cheer, that is actually the cardinal. One of my favorite bird mnemonics is the barred owl, and that's who cooks for you all. I thought that it was kind of fun to put these inconsequential phrases onto something so permanent as stone. Took this offcut from a sculpture that I had made recently, and had it laser engraved on each side. The idea being to create a circular poem that you could start at any side to read. So, and it's a poem about red pine, which is the type of wood that this is. So red pine, often the pine cones open up and release the seeds after a fire. And laser engraving burns the surface of the wood, which you can kind of see that there's a little bit of kind of like a smoke residue that builds up after this engraving has happened, especially when you have to go deeper. So in this case it says, after flames, glowing embers, nurse seed banks with life. I think art is important because it allows us a way to cope with the world around us. So it's like a survival mechanism or a survival technique that we use to help us to get through whatever is happening, whether that it's a crisis or just ordinary mundane stuff in our lives. It may not necessarily be the way that we arrive at the tools that will solve crises or solve problems, but it'll help us make sense of what's going on, make sense of crisis. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to share a bit of my practice with you. Take care.